3, testing. Testing. It's gonna keep. No? You still can't hear me?
I don't know why it says I'm waiting for you.
Oh. Waiting for me? Oh, this phone been acting up all day, really.
Okay.
You can hear me now? Waiting for me?
Yep.
Okay. So we was having a little technical difficulty. I apologize for that. But we were having a little technical difficulty. But it's fixed. And it's the Headstand Stretch Clinic. Welcome to I Am Yoga Studios. We're gonna do a little storytelling. And we're gonna do a little storytelling about the headstand. First of all, the headstand, Sirsasana, right? Headstand. How many of you can do a headstand? Right? How many of you can, hey, Livy, namaste. Thank you for being in the room. Looks like you're the only one here right now, but that's cool. Olivia can do a headstand, I know, because I share yoga with her, share yoga space with her. She's improved tremendously in her headstand. She just don't realize how much she has improved, but she has improved in her headstand. Few things about a headstand. Let's talk shop about the headstand. There are multiple inversions in yoga, and the two primary ones is the handstand and the headstand. The headstand is superior, not because it looks better or it's harder to do or anything like that, but because of the benefits, the physiological, biological, medical, scientific, metaphysical benefits that the headstand offers. And the headstand holds a few mystical powers to it too. Headstand is it holds some spiritual powers as well. It's not like a headstand. If you could do a headstand, put in the comments stand, or just put an H in the comments. If you know how to do a headstand, just comment H. I'm in love with the headstand. Headstand saved my life. So I'm going to tell you this story. For many of you who don't know my story, so I was shot in my head when I was 9 years old, right here. Shot in the head. And I spent the next 4.5 years in and out of a coma. 4.5 years in and out of a coma. Because shot in the head ain't no joke. During those 4.5 years in and out of a coma, I had the most amazing coma experience. And I'm in a coma, and I'm having this experience in the other dimensions, these other beings, ancestral beings, thorough beings, spiritual beings, infinite beings. I'm having this wonderful experience. In the background of this experience was these living avatars on a living virtual type of platform. It's a true story. And they was doing these yoga poses. I didn't know it was yoga at the time. I got shot at 9. And I didn't even have a body. And in this coma experience, I was in like a light form. It was amazing. Make a long story short, they were doing these poses and informed me how to heal myself. So while I was in a coma, they said I would be doing these movements. And like, what's going on? They didn't know. So somewhere around I'm in and out of a coma, 4.5 years. I'm in and out of a coma. Somewhere around age 13, I was in hospice. Right? No, I wasn't in hospice yet. I still was in ICU. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I had tubes in my nose, tubes in my mouth, tubes in my hand. I had tubes everywhere, right? That was helping keeping me alive. And I had the sutures still around my skull. They had to put my skull back in place because when I got shot, my skull sort of like spun. And you can see the stitch line. They did a very good job cosmetically removing the stitch line. Make a long story shorter, I couldn't breathe, and I remember one of the avatars teaching me how to do a headstand. And so I'm sitting here, I could feel I'm getting ready to pass out, I'm getting ready to die. Because I can't breathe. I'm not getting it. And they ain't getting it. Doctors, my mom, they weren't getting the message. I can't breathe. And so I had removed the gurney, and with all the strength, I pulled the tubes out and I pulled out my mouth and nose. I got off the gurney and I crawled about 3 to 4 feet. That's how, it almost killed me. To the corner, and I braced myself in the corner, and I went up in the headstand. I still had the sutures. My skull was still stitched on my head, but I can breathe. I'm inverted. I'm in a headstand, right? I'm in a headstand. Just got shot in my head, and I'm in this headstand, and I can breathe. It was such a natural breath. Mind you, the nurse walks into the room. Now, when you're young like that, a parent or someone has to stay with you. The nurse walks into the room. She sees me in the headstand. She screams so loud, I shitted on myself. Ah! Right? And my mother woke up. She screamed. I shitted. True story. And, of course, they put me on suicide watch. They thought I was trying to kill myself. But from that moment on, I have not stopped the headstand since. So that's the value of the headstand. Headstand saved my life. So I am very adept at headstands. I continue practicing headstands. And I suggest you do too. If you can't do a headstand, you should learn. You should learn how to do a headstand. DM me directly and I will send you some information for free on how to do a headstand. So let's get into this information that I wrote down concerning the headstand for you. Number one, the headstand is not supposed to hold all your body weight. When you do a headstand, especially in tradition 1, right? This tripod, your shoulders and forearms bear the burden of most of your weight, not your neck and not your head, right? So you got to learn to lift from your shoulders. If you're in a yoga studio or you're learning headstands and you not learning to lift from the shoulders and you're putting all that pressure on your neck, out over a period of time, you're going to feel that. Your body won't betray you, but you're going to feel that. So if you're doing tradition 1, learn to lift from the shoulders. And this is the safest and most secure position. This position 1 is the most safest and secure because of the tripod and the shoulder lift. Right. Then you have tradition 2, which looks like this. Then you have tradition 3 where you're on your forearm. There's multiple traditions. But tradition 1, this position in the headstand is the most safest and secure. And you lift from the shoulders and you take a lot of pressure off your neck and head. So your head and neck is not supposed to bear the burden of the weight and gravity when you're in the headstand. The shoulders, arms, and your upper back carry most of the pressure. So the neck should feel long and not crushed. And you can feel it. You can feel it. Your breath controls your balance more than your muscles in the headstand. Your breathing, especially in the beginning. If you just learning how to do a headstand, you not control your breathing. Take deep, slow, gentle breaths. You take deep, slow, gentle breaths going into a headstand. You take deep, slow, gentle breaths in the headstand, and you take deep, slow, gentle breaths coming out the headstand. So your breath controls your balance more than your muscles. So if you're breathing in a headstand and you got air in your lungs, you put weight on your body. It's a little, makes your body heavier. When the breath becomes jerky, your nervous system panics and the body starts to shake. So smooth breathing creates stability. So deep, gentle breathing in a headstand will stabilize your headstand. So if I'm not breathing correctly in a headstand, I can rock, I can fall, I can lean. So you want to breathe correctly. Your eyes affect your equilibrium. So if your eyes are constantly dancing, right, it affects your equilibrium, the vestibular system. So fix your eyes on something not moving in the headstand, and it will stabilize your gaze. It will stabilize your central nervous system and your equilibrium, right? So a wandering gaze makes the nervous system unstable. A soft gaze helps the brain organize, balance, and spatial awareness. That's very important to remember. The shoulders are the true foundation of the headstand. Shoulders. Most people think a headstand starts at the head. It actually starts with the shoulder lift, the scapular strength, and arm engagement. The headstand begins here. Not here. It actually begins here. Right. I'm gonna demonstrate. Let me do a quick demonstration for you. So maybe let's get a demonstration here. And one quick demonstration. And I'm gonna do it on the carpet, something I do not recommend you learn to do, but I'm gonna do it right now because I feel like it, and I don't feel like making any other changes. So I'm gonna do it right here on the carpet for you. Okay. So here's the show. So you're down in the headstand. Lift from the shoulders. Lift. 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 You still can engage your core. So I'm going to stand and do it. Stand. Lift. 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 Right. So you want to condition your shoulders to hold your body weight in the headstand. It's very important. Yes. And I know I got to make this live a little more better. And I will. Give it a little time. It will expand and will grow. It always does. So most people think the headstand starts at the head, as I said, but it doesn't. It starts at the shoulder. And the inversion changes pressure, circulation, and awareness. A headstand is not just upside down fitness. It changes your blood flow. You're inverted. So your blood flow is affected by gravity. And the vestibular orientation, meaning balance, nervous system signaling, and mental focus. All this is happening at one time. Right? Your blood flow, your vestibular system or orientation, nervous system signaling, and mental focus is all being affected by a headstand. The headstand reverses ordinary perception. The world turns upside down so the mind can stop clinging to its normal patterns. In yoga, inversion symbolizes seeing beyond illusion and conditioned thinking. This is important to know. This is just tips that I'm giving and sharing. So the crown of your head becomes a symbolic antenna, and ancient traditions viewed the crown center as a gateway of higher awareness. Right here. This is the placement. Right here is where you place your head in the headstand. In stillness and breath, the practitioner or the one who's practicing the headstand learns to receive rather than constantly react. So fear is transformed into presence, right? And when upside down, the survival mind becomes loud. The practice teaches you to breathe inside uncertainty, and the fear turns into concentration, calmness, and inner power. That's it. That's the value of a headstand. You don't get no better than that. And do not get any better than what I just said. The headstand. Okay, I think it's fixed. I apologize for that. But the headstand, yes. So the headstand is very encouraging and very empowering. That's two dynamics that's going to come out of the headstand. Two psychological, mental, and higher experiences that come out of a headstand. One, it's super encouraging. Two, it's super empowering. Right? Fear, uncertainty, doubt, they get processed through the body by virtue of a headstand. And it's my favorite. You know what this is, right? It's the headstand bench. It looks like a toilet bowl, but it's really not. It's a headstand bench. I'm gonna do one headstand in this bench. This thing is excellent for your core. But if you get yourself a headstand bench, it will work on your core. First thing you do is you shake it. Right, now if you got a carpet, don't do a headstand on a carpet. You need a more stable and secure surface. However, if you got a headstand bench, you can use the bench on the carpet because you're not putting your neck and head on it. So you put your shoulders on it. Your shoulders bearing all that pressure. Looks like this. And the core work you can do is just fabulous. So I suggest, try to invest. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it from the side. It's absolutely fabulous. And when you come out, don't stand right away. Take a knee and breathe. Restore. Yes. So as I was sharing, the headstand is very encouraging and it's very empowering, right? It gets rid of fear, gets rid of uncertainty, gets rid of doubt. It gets rid of trauma, pain, and pleasure, right? It processes these things. Headstand is amazing. The headstand activates the pleasure centers of the brain and the creative centers of the brain. When you go inverted, it stimulates the pituitary, right? The pineal gland, prefrontal lobe, cortex. So you can't go wrong learning to do a headstand. Yes. And I suggest in the beginning, you use a wall. I suggest in the beginning, you do not use a carpet, right? Try not to use surfaces where your neck will wobble. Sand, not good. Unless you can hold a shoulder stand, unless you can lift yourself up on your shoulders. I do not suggest you do a headstand on sand, carpets, thick mats, pillows, books. Try to avoid those surfaces. Wood is excellent. Wood is fabulous. Tar. You have other surfaces that you could use for a headstand that I would suggest that you use. Definitely a headstand bench. Now, you can feel the pressure on your shoulders in the headstand bench, and you can feel the blood rushing to your head. Now, when you go inverted and you feel that blood rushing to your head, we have a tendency to panic. But when you do the headstand and you feel that blood rushing to your head, relax. Don't panic. Breathe. Breathe through your nose only. Jaws are slightly tight, but stay relaxed and breathe. Breathe and watch the panic start to subside. Watch the central nervous system starts to regulate their fear. Right. So whenever you do a headstand, and remember, you go into the headstand breathing deep, gentle, and slow. While you're in the headstand, you breathe deep, gentle, and slow. When you come out the headstand, you breathe deep, gentle, and slow. And I got to tell y'all, if you're asking any questions, the word, I gotta find a way to make these words bigger on the screen because I cannot see these little tiny letters on this. I can't even shout your name out. Is that Santana? I hope I hope I didn't hurt your attribute, but welcome. Yeah. Yeah, I got to learn how to use this. It says add a sticker. I can see that, but the words are definitely too small. I cannot see it. So we're gonna close out anyway, and I hope y'all got something out of this. I gotta expand and illuminate on this live this week. We got 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna demonstrate again using the headstand bench. Now this bench is not only good for headstands, as I said, it's absolutely fabulous for your core. So this piece screws out, but if you screw it back in, you can use it to do core work. For instance, hollow. You can do a hollow back, which I'm gonna demonstrate right now. Hollow back. Okay, let's go from the back. I'm gonna face you so you can see the full hollow back. You can lay on it, lift your legs in a hollow, all core. And then you can reverse it. All core. So this headstand bench has multiple purposes. Now, if you unscrew the middle, it comes out. Now you have a headstand bench, right? That you can use for headstands. Make sure it's secure. This is called the bike. Okay. I'm gonna set up better so you can see. This is called the bike. This is the chair. Core work. And come on. Take a knee and breathe. Now, I gotta share some with y'all. So somebody made a comment a while back about decompression boots. And I think I had somebody make a comment about the inversion bench table. All good. It's all good. I've tried them both, not only in decompression boots and in inversion bench. You have inversion straps. You have all kinds of different ways to go inverted, and I've tried quite a few. And you go to yoga studios, most of the time they have the ropes. You go inverted by ropes. They're good. They're very good. However, they don't beat the traditional headstand, natural body, organic body. Sovereign body doing that headstand. It's not the same benefit. Decompression boots feels great. It feels, but you don't get the benefits of placing your crown on the floor and that pressure that activates the pituitary and the prefrontal cortex, and you don't get the same benefits that you do when you do a regular headstand. Feels great on the spine. You feel less pressure, you can hold it longer, more than likely, injury prevention, more greater because you are not on your neck and head. I get it. I get it. But there's nothing equal to the headstand. If you know anything, I challenge you. And I challenge you I challenge you to present evidence, proof, or whatever, just your testimony, that the decompression boots and inversion bench is better than the headstand. It's better than the traditional headstand. The inversion table is great. There's no pressure in the neck, and you can literally lay there and go to sleep. But you are not activating the pituitary. You are not receiving the same benefits from your central nervous system that you would if you are on top of your head, literally and physically, right? On top of your head. You're not getting the same benefits. Same with decompression boots. If you are hanging upside down, sure, you're receiving physiological benefits, but you're not getting the same benefits as if you're on top of your head. You're not. Because you're not on top of your head. So the central nervous system is not responding and reacting like you are on top of your head. Sure, the inversion bench feels great. The inversion table feels great. Decompressing boots, the ropes. Now when you get a little older or you mature, sure. Now you want to prevent injury. So I suggest you use it. I do suggest that it be used. It's nothing wrong with it at all. But I'm just speaking facts. That the natural headstand is superior to the decompression boots and the inversion table and the ropes. I'm living proof of it. And if anyone is adept at yoga, if everyone is adept at fitness, if anyone is adept at calisthenics, if you practice the headstand, comment H and let me know, what do you think is superior? The traditional yoga headstand or I didn't say what feels better. I'm not talking about what feels better, right? I'm talking about the functionality of it. The inner experience. What is the inner experience like, right? Peace, calm, and tranquility is not the goal of yoga. It's not the goal of the headstand. That's a side effect. So if you really want the benefits of a headstand, you have to do a headstand, right? Sure, you can use the inversion bench, take a break, decompressing boots. Feels great on the disc on the spine. It's great for the cervical neck, but it is not a headstand. You're inverted. You're just inverted. You're not standing on your head. So with that being said, we got like 2 minutes. So I love a headstand. I told y'all part of my story of how I started doing headstands. I will continue to deliver value, and I want to set up a better strategy so I can share the headstand more. And I'm going to invite some people to come and do a headstand practice. We're going to start moving into that phase on YouTube, and and telling my story a little more. Again, my first pose ever in yoga was a headstand. It was not downward dog. It was not sun salutations. It was not upward facing dog or Padmasana. It was none of it. It was Sirsasana. That was my first pose, and I did it when I had the sutures, when I had my skull stitched back onto the top of my head. So big shout out to yoga, to the headstand. I love you, headstand. I love you. You have my blessings. We about to get out of here in 15 seconds. I love you. We live again tomorrow, 6 a.m. on TikTok. We have a live panel, 4-member panel. We're talking about health and wealth. Health is the wealth. And tomorrow you got some people coming on talking about wealth. And I'm live Thursday right here, 7 p.m. again. And stay abreast of current events. It's voting time. Today was the last day in Georgia to vote. Look what's happening to the southern states, Louisiana, Tennessee. A lot of things happening to people of color in terms of power. that the administrations and these states are doing. Where's the yoga voice? Where's the spiritual voice? Where's the religious voice? It's time that we start organizing and speaking to some of these injustices, and not just trying to stay peaceful and harmony while things happen to the people that we serve, or the people that we supposed to serve. You know. Yeah, so we'll start speaking to some of that. Excuse me. So you have my blessings, and the people in Tennessee, the southern states. Yes, it's time to start speaking power to those truths of what they are doing out there, what's happening to people. Louisiana just made a law; they making homelessness a crime. Homelessness is a crime in the state of Louisiana. So it's time that the yogis, the monks, the Reiki masters, and the pastors, the Christians, the imams, these voices start speaking about some of these things happening to people of color mainly, and to some of the minority groups. No matter if you're LGBT, it doesn't matter what you are. We are talking about the structure, the power structure, what they are dismantling. They just passed the law, not a law. They defunding certain medical positions like nurse practitioner, physical therapist. Right, the State Department is no longer the United States Department of Education is no longer funding those type of professions. Yeah, and this is happening. So, and this affects a big 35-45% of the women in this country. So, I don't know if you heard about it. I just heard about it today. I just heard about someone told me today. So, I'm speaking on it, and I had those facts, and I'll become more abreast of it and get a clear understanding. But those facts I do know. So the yoga voice, stays silent on a lot of things, a lot of socioeconomics, on a lot of religious things, a lot of spiritual things, a lot of racist things, a lot of things affecting people all over the planet. We just remain silent and want to teach downward dog. But yoga is an empowerment, right? Yoga is an empowerment more so than it's just a pose. Yoga, as a matter of fact, yoga is not a pose. Yoga is not more than just a pose. One example you have is Gandhi. Whatever Gandhi was or wasn't, he used this yoga to defend his whole country, gave his life for it. Right? Whether you call him a snitch, whatever you do, bless him. He did it. So, the yoga voice needs to stand up, speak out, and start addressing some of these issues as well, because we can. That's what yoga is created for. So we can stand up, straighten our spine, straighten our spine, and speak power to these truths, and try to improve lives. Right? We don't improve spirits and psychology and mentalities and emotions, and breath work and meditation. We have to literally help these politicians who are, making these decisions over a lot. They're the ones who need yoga the most. So with that being said, let me get out of here. And we live 6 a.m. on TikTok, and I see y'all Thursday. Namaste.